Okay, we're on the record in the matter of Sycamore Townhomes doing business as Woodside Meadows versus Candace Joy, file number 22-02069 LT. Appear into the record.
Catherine Gable for Jeremy Piper on behalf of plaintiff.
Felicity Hill, P82961, appearing on behalf of the defendant and current plaintiff.
Thank you. How are you all?
Good.
Today is the date that was set for a bench trial. We have a conditional dismissal here. It says the defendant is going to vacate the premises on or before 3 p.m. on March 31st, 2023, and the defendant has no right to retain possession after March 21st, 2023. Is there any money that's going to be exchanged at all?
No, Your Honor, she's just going to vacate, and I think it's March 31st. I don't know.
March 31st, did I say
Okay.
that? Sorry.
I thought I heard 21st. Did you? Okay, sorry.
Okay, I should have said 31st, but I didn't. What did I say? Okay, well, 31st for the record. Okay, and the section 7 says partial payment by defendant of amount in 2D, but there's no amount. So that's why I want to clarify, there's no amount that's due.
Yeah, just confirming that she can't pay anything to retain any possession.
Okay, sounds good. And you understand those terms, Ms. Joy? Okay. Okay, and so you understand that today was the date that was set for your trial, and you have the right to proceed to a trial. You understand that? Did you want to waive your right to trial? Anybody threatening you to get you to waive that right? Any promises being made to you? Okay. And that's your signature here?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, do you have any questions at this time? Okay, I'll sign this for today. And as indicated by Ms. Gable, there's no partial payment that can be made to satisfy this agreement, which is that you're going to vacate the premise after the 31st of this month. You understand that? Okay. Any additional matters for the record, counsel?
Not from plaintiff, thank you.
Nothing from defendant either. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. We'll get you a copy of this conditional dismissal. And we're running the next two. Okay, let me get this. We're on the record in the matter of RPM Auto Sales Incorporated versus Cody Sparks. File number 19-03693 GC. Appearance, please.
Good morning,
Yeah.
Your Honor. Brent Cradle appearing on behalf of plaintiff RPM Auto Sales P75845.
Okay, and I see Cody Sparks is present via Zoom. Mr. Sparks, do you have an attorney?
I do not.
Okay, today's the date and time set for an objection to income tax garnishment. Mr. Sparks, you filed an objection
Yes.
because you already have you said an active payment plan or installment payment plan?
I do have an active and payment planned and set and with them. I do have a payment that's going through with them also today after this court hearing. It's been a lot to going on. I was out of work for a very long time for having long COVID, which took 3 months of work away from me. And then I got sick after that also. So it's been a lot going on. So I was looking to see if I could possibly get a release for at least this one, if possible, just so I can use it for unexpected expenses that arise due to not being able to work and being on a short income at the moment. And if anything, if they can release it for this time and then move it forward for at least next year, possibly, if that's what they really want to do. But the payment plan will be still in place.
Mr. Crowderville, did you want to respond?
Sure, Your Honor. Yeah, we do. There is a court ordered installment payment order in place, $50 a month. Mr. Sparks is, I would argue, technically behind on that, though not particularly far behind. But regardless, when we're under installment payment orders that are not something that my office agreed to, we generally proceed with tax garnishments as as usual, and that's what our client has asked us to do. And I don't believe that he has a valid objection to the tax garnishment. And therefore, I guess I would just request that the court deny his objection. And part of the other issue, it'd be one thing if his installment payments were fashioned in such a way that they may pay down this balance. His balance is essentially only going to increase without other funds being added to, supplement those installment payments he's making.
Okay, and this would not be the first time that he's behind. You said he's technically behind. What is he behind now?
I show him owing for January 4th. The tricky thing is when the order was entered, he didn't make a payment for a few months. But we also did receive a garnishment check. So that kind of confuses the due date on my end.
Okay.
Actually,
I'm trying to understand. You said that this was not a consent, installment order that you consented to. That's not what our
Yeah.
records reflect.
I guess I don't understand. I just see an order. So I guess all I'm saying is often when I make agreements with defendants to make monthly payments, I will say, as long as you're making your monthly payment, we won't take any other collection action against you, including tax garnishment, etc. That is generally in exchange for a payment that is aimed towards actually paying down the judgment. I'm simply saying that there was no other agreement as such along with this installment payment order. And, making installment payments does not preclude my office from filing a tax garnishment.
Okay, I just wanted to clarify that because we do have on record here a civil judgment with the condition for the installment payment.
I see what you're saying. Originally, yes. But what happened was this court granted my motion to set that aside back in June.
Mhm.
And then he filed his new motion. So yes, there's been multiple iterations.
Okay, sounds good. So, and I think we set it aside back in June, based on the motion to set it aside because he was behind 7 months at the time.
Correct.
Okay, and so. Got it. So it looks like in July, Judge Ward signed to enter a new agreement for $50 a month. Is that the current agreement?
Correct.
Okay. Okay, and so that order, for your records, Mr. Sparks, it says that no writ of garnishment on this judgment shall issue for wages or personal work and labor until further order of the court, but it also says that the writ of periodic payment that was previously in state would be suspended and the garnishee is ordered to discontinue. But it doesn't preclude, as Mr. Cladeville states, them from seeking a writ of garnishment for your tax refund. You're making only a payment of $50 per month, but you owe, at least at the time that we, or that this court granted the order regarding installment payments, you owed over $8,000. And you're gonna keep getting a compounded interest on that. You recognize that?
I didn't understand about the compound interest. I didn't know that was there. So thank you for letting me know that. But also back then when those payments were late, there was situations that were arise that I did reach out and let them know by calling the office and letting them know what was going on. So I was in contact with them, and then I did make that payment plan. So I was still in the loop with them on what was going on via email with the attorney. So I understand completely how large that balance is and where my payment plan stands. But as from what I have sent into the courts previous to my payment arrangement, the courts have agreed to allow me to pay that much due to the income that I have and what that income is being used for. So definitely, I was also looking if they did willing to release it, some of that money would still go to them, and then a little bit would go to me to kind of just cover what I would really need to be able to get back on board and continue to make sure everything is on track and payments are made on time and so forth. So yes, I completely understand how large that balance is and then that interest there.
Just as a point of information, Your Honor, I just want to say there is interest running on the judgment, but it doesn't compound. I don't,
Okay,
just as a technical term, it only accrues on the original, well, the portion of the original judgment amount that is still owing. So it doesn't, there's no interest on interest, I guess is all I would say.
got
But
it.
it's still substantial interest and certainly it's a factor.
Okay, I have here that he has a total due that includes interest of $11,065, correct?
It's a little bit more than that now because interest calculates daily, but yes, it's over $11,000.
Okay, well, that was at the time that you requested the income tax garnishment.
Right.
Okay, sounds good.
Which was July. So it's been 8 months at this point.
Also, Your Honor, if you don't mind, like I said earlier, when we first started, even if it is somewhere that can be released to help me as in now, and then, that would be continued as a garnishment later down the road, that is completely fine with me also. It's just I'm in a very hard spot right now, and that's the only reason I'm doing what I'm doing at this moment. If this wasn't here, then I wouldn't have a problem with doing that and, letting them continue to take that garnishment due to that balance being so high. So I'm just here today to hopefully be able to get that released, and then they can continue with that garnishment starting next year.
Okay, well, you said that if I grant your motion, a substantial portion would still go to them. What portion were you planning to remit to them?
I was gonna plan on at least seeing if they would take 400 from that and then releasing the rest to me.
What is your total income tax return?
I don't know right off top of my head. Let's see here.
I have it. It's $1,834.
Yes.
And just so Your Honor is aware, I mean, this is tax garnishments are one of the things where I don't have any leeway with my client. My client doesn't allow me to release them once filed unless they need to be released via bankruptcy or satisfaction of a judgment or some court happening that requires them to be released. So I'm not going to be able to voluntarily agree to anything short of
I
keeping.
recognize that.
Okay.
I completely recognize that. Let's see. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and grant your request because I think that you've been doing a relatively decent job of being compliant of the current payment plan that's already in order under this installment order. So I'm gonna find that your objections are valid at this time.
Your Honor, valid pursuant to what, if I may ask? What is the valid objection?
He was under the understanding that he would not be subject to any garnishment, so long as he was making his payments.
Okay, well, I don't know if that's true, but also my client still paid the money to file the tax garnishment legally and correctly, and he does not have a valid objection today to that garnishment. So I would object to any ruling granting as such.
Okay, your objection is noted. I'm going to still find his objections valid. I'm going to release the tax garnishment. He can continue with his payment plan.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Any additional matters for the record?
No, Your Honor.
You're all set.
Thank you.
Honor.
Okay, we're on the record in the matter of Stonecrest versus ISIS Figures, file number 22-01011 LT. Appearances, please.
Your Honor, Corey Grand Mason appearing on behalf of Stonecrest.
Phyllis Detail, PA 3961, appearing on behalf of ISIS Figures, who is located via Zoom.
Thank you. And today was the date that we reset the motion to stop eviction that the parties requested an adjournment to confirm payments that were accounted for. Were you able to come to a resolution on this?
No, Your Honor. We actually had another hearing that was scheduled as well, but it was canceled due to weather. And about a month has passed, and I haven't heard back from legal services, who was representing Miss Figures at the time. So it's her motion, Your Honor. So I'm here based on her objection.
I will say the ledger that we were provided did not account for the payments that Ms. Figures had made on the conditional dismissal. And I haven't received any explanation as to why that is.
Okay.
I have the ledger out in the hallway. The others, I can grab it if you need it.
Okay. And so you're still seeking explanation as to why it doesn't account for some payments that she did make?
Correct. And as to why the writ was sought when the conditional dismissal was paid.
Well, that sounds like you all need to have a private conversation about that, and I don't know if he can get that information for you today. or if you need additional time to do that. I don't know, when did we close court for weather? I don't think we closed. I don't think we reset anything for weather.
Oh, no, it was actually, I'm sorry, Your Honor, it was a reset due to illness of the previous attorney. So that's why we had the adjournment till today.
Oh, yeah, I had surgery last week. so-
Oh, okay, sounds good. Okay, well, we can go off the record, and then you all can get in a private meeting room so that you can go over this ledger and see if you can come up with what happened, or if you need to find additional time to do that, the court can grant that.
Uh,
But it sounds like she needs an explanation from your client as to why some payments were not accounted for.
Well, okay, we'll go into a breakout room briefly. I think I can explain it to her. If we don't come to a resolution now, I would just seek a hearing date, an official hearing date on this, where everybody appears. And
Everybody's here now, so if we need to have a hearing today, we can do that. I do have a couple of trials that are gonna run, but the expectation, I guess, and I don't know, did you seek this information before today?
Yes.
So the information was sought and she wasn't provided an answer.
from whom, Miss Till?
I had sent you an email replying to the ledger.
Well, we'll talk about this briefly, but I don't see any type of information seeking that from me specifically as part of my email chain. But let's go ahead and talk about it briefly, if we would.
Oh, sounds good. We're off the record.
Do you want me to log into Zoom in one of the?
Oh, yeah, that room should be open back there.
Okay.
Okay, we're back on the record in the matter of ISIS figures. Were you able to get an understanding, Ms.
We-
Tim?
We were
You
not
can be
able
seated,
to
ma'am.
reach an agreement, but we are going to ask just for another hearing date in the next 2 weeks. We just have to run an investigation on a couple of things. He did provide me with an expanded ledger, so we can go over it, and hopefully we'll have this resolved at next hearing.
Okay, let me get you a date. We can do March 21st at 1:30. March 21st at 1:30 work?
That works for me.
That would be fine. Thank you.
Okay, this matter is adjourned till that time. Any additional matters for the record today?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you. You're all set, ma'am. Thank you, sir. Let's see. You're free to go, Ms. Figures. And Ms. Till, I didn't realize you were on everything today. Okay,
Thank you, Your Honor. Have a good day.
same to you. Have we seen Cornelius, Bradley Cornelius, that is? No? On the record in the matter of County Bank versus Bradley Cornelius, file number 22-02146 GCE. Council appearance.
Good morning, Ann Hanalja Francis, P72322 on behalf of plaintiff's attorney of record.
Today was the date set for a bench trial. This matter was scheduled for 9 o'clock. It's 9:21. No one has appeared on behalf of Bradley Cornelius. A default judgment can be entered.
Thank you, Your Honor. We would note defendant has been making payments, so we will deduct those payments from the default judgment.
You said he has been making payments and what?
We will deduct those payments from the default judgment.
Very good. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. Can we email that judgment or do you want it under 7 days?
Please. Yep, you can email it to Judge Simmons Courtroom at lansingmi.gov.
Courtroom is spelled out.
Judge Simmons Courtroom spelled out correct.
At lansing.gov.
lansingmi.gov.
MI. Okay, thank you, Judge.
No
Have a
problem. You
good
have a
day.
good one. Okay. On the record in the matter of Codeine Sowers versus Nicole Garvey, file number 22-03632 SP. Council appearance.
Mr. Till gave me just one hearing on behalf of Nicole Garvey.
Today was the date set for a bench trial. Ms. Nana, we ready to proceed?
We are ready to proceed on the bench trial, Your Honor. I also have the other bench trial that we had scheduled for this morning.
Correct.
So we wanted to actually talk to you and see if you still wanted to run this one after that. Or
It's up to you. I don't see an attorney on the other one.
there's not an attorney on the other one.
Okay.
However, we did need a translator, and we had a translator at our last hearing. And so I don't know.
Is the translator here? We had a translator. Oh, it says there should have been a Spanish interpreter. Was one requested for today? I don't see a request from. I see one from December in here.
I'm sorry, I didn't know we had to request each.
Oh, I didn't mean from you, I meant from our administration office. They'll put a copy of the request in here.
Oh,
When it got requested, it wasn't enough. Okay, well, it does not look like there was an interpreter requested today, so that one's probably gonna have to get reset. I know a criminal usually puts the stamp or something. There needs to be one on this one. So there needs to be an interpreter. Let's get a new date. Do we have Mr. Lopez and McNeil's here?
yeah, I know.
March 30.
Correct.
Yeah, I think I've had another one.
You have another one on that date?
Yeah, it's also with you.
Okay, sounds good. Does
So-
that work for the McNeils? March 30th date?
Yeah.
Okay, very good. We're reset to that time. We'll get everybody a notice to appear and we'll make sure there is an interpreter here. Any additional matters on that one?
No, nothing.
Does the McNeils have anything to add on that file at this time? Okay, we'll get you a new date. Okay. That being said, then we're ready to proceed on Sowers versus Garvey.
Correct.
Okay.
Talk to them still for a moment.
Absolutely. Sowers.
She said, this is adjourned for the 30, what?
We had to adjourn it because there's no interpreter here. He needs an interpreter.
He speak English.
I was told by his attorney he needs an interpreter.
I'm the landlord. How did he rent from me if he can't speak English?
I can't explain that to you. You can ask Miss Till to come back in here with your wife if you all want to go on the record about that, but I can only go by what she says. She says her client needs an interpreter. Did Ms. Till remove, is Ms. Till and Mr. Ralph Lopez still there, Bigelow?
Well, she was talking to a room.
So where's Mr. Lopez?
He was at that.
Did Mr. Lopez leave?
No.
Tell them they can come back in here. Mr. Lopez, is Mr. Lopez with you?
Yes, he is.
Okay, so everyone can come up to the table so the mic will pick you up. Who has the file? Do you have it? Bigelow? We're back on, oh, we're on the record, that is, in the matter of Marvin and Jennifer McNeil versus Raul Lopez. This is file number 22-0249. 11LT. Have your appearance for the record.
Yes, Felicity Till, P83961.
Yanni Martinez, P85-282.
We're appearing on behalf of the defendant, Raul Lopez, who is the attorney.
Thank you. And your name, sir? Okay, your name? You are appearing without counsel today, correct? Okay. Mr. Lopez, how are you?
Hi, I didn't sleep last night, so I'm yeah.
Why does he need an interpreter?
So his caseworker just came out. She told me he doesn't need an interpreter. He just prefers a Spanish speaking attorney. So I suppose we could go forward today if we needed to.
Okay, well, then that's different. If there's no interpreter needed, then we're gonna move forward with this matter today.
Okay, we can do that. Do you want to then?
It's up to you. You're the one who's on every file today.
I
so
know.
You balance which one you want to go with first.
I think with this, if I would have my choice of which one we're gonna do, it would be this one because it's be this one first because we've got a lot to go through.
Sounds good. Let's do it. Any preliminary matters before we start? Do you have any preliminary issues that you want to address before we start the trial?
As far as the code compliance and stuff like that.
I don't know.
We just turned it in. We just got a letter. If he don't move his stuff, they're gonna charge me.
Okay,
got
no, well,
a-
that's not a preliminary matter. That
Oh,
sounds like
okay.
it's part of the issue, but
Okay.
I wanted to know if you had a preliminary matter that you needed to address. Do you have any preliminary matters? You probably don't have any. Okay, you all can take a seat, get comfortable. Do you need an extra chair?
Can I grab that?
Yes,
one, Donna?
please. Okay, so this is the date set for a trial and it's for a termination of tenancy, or just not, or for non-payment of rent. Okay, and Mr. and Mrs. McNeil, you're proceeding without counsel. Typically, you would start and making your case, but this is for non-payment of rent. Your position is that your tenant's not paid rent? Since when?
Since June. But we're not, trying to get any money out of them. We just want our property
You just
back.
want possession.
That's all.
I understand that, but I'm trying to
Yeah,
understand the basis because you filed a non-payment of rent case. So you're saying they not paid rent since June
Well,
June was the last time.
of 2022?
Yeah.
And you want possession only, you're not seeking the
Yes.
money damages
oh,
at this time?
Look, as far as them, I don't know how much the damage was gonna be. He infested our home with bed bugs.
Okay, but what we're talking about today is just money damages as a real, you're not seeking any at this time. Did you file your complaint for money damages? Because you can always bring a claim for money damages later, but today you're just seeking possession, correct?
yeah, yes, ma'am. Yes.
No, I know it does say that you, at the time, you were seeking money damages, but you can hold that claim for today and move forward on just the possession, if that's what you want to do.
Well, yeah.
And you can address the money damages at another time, correct? Yes.
See, the reason why we're not seeking money damages, because he's on a fixed income, and we can't, they're not gonna garnish his disability checks.
Yeah, but what if he has a rich great uncle that dies and then he gets inherited? You may never get your money.
We've been going through
Your
this for a
Honor,
long
Your
time.
I
Honor.
recognize you have, but if you have a right to, I don't know what your rights are or what you're gonna get as it relates to a money damage, but let's say at the end of this hearing, we determined that you are owed $10,000. You would, you could, this is a hypothetical, you could get a judgment in favor. You may, under his circumstances and your circumstances, not be able to recover under that because he's on a fixed income, he could be on social security, who knows? You may never be able to recover from it. Like I said, there could be a rich uncle that he doesn't know about that dies and leaves him $20 billion, okay? And then you, without that judgment, will never be able to recover or levy on it because you never got the judgment. So you're saying you don't want to see any money damages.
God bless him. God bless him.
Sounds good. But you're right. I just wanted to make sure you were clear on that.
Yes.
Okay, so you're seeking possession only for non-payment of rent. Anything else you want to add today? And you mentioned something about the home,
No.
code.
Code, yes, we have it.
What are you going to share about that?
Code compliance, they just did it. I've been in contact with them. One, initially, it's the, it's red tag for, we didn't renew our rental certificate, but we spoke with Raul about moving. He just said, take him to court. We spoke with him. I asked him, I told him he could keep his rent. So if he must be found a place, I talked to him about lowering the rent. This all come because he had bed bugs, so that he hasn't let us in the home. You know, and it's a lot of stuff in there. I do know that when we called the company to get it exterminated, they said everything will need to be removed.
Okay. How long has he been a tenant of yours?
Almost
Since-
5 years.
Yes.
Almost 5 years.
And at the time that you entered into this landlord tenant arrangement, your property was you had a rental certificate?
Yes.
And when did it expire?
In 2021, I think in the summer of 2021.
Why did it expire?
It was
Or
time
why
for,
was it not renewed?
we didn't, he had bed bugs at that time. It was, even if they,
So for 2 years, the property's been infested with bed bugs?
We
oh,
don't,
longer than, we don't know how
we
long,
don't know how long. He just, you know,
but
we can't get anybody to come in there and work. We had somebody in there redoing the bathroom. And they found out he had bed bugs. They did a half a job. They didn't want to come in to finish the job. And then I sent a number of people over there to redo the windows. I was gonna replace the windows in the house. He won't let nobody in. You know, my wife comes, she's get the rent. He meet her at the back door. We say we want to come in and inspect the house. He would not allow us in. And then he'll come out, tell us, wait a minute. He'll come out and walk around and then point up. It's the roof is leaking up there. I said, well, can I get in to see where it's leaking at and see what I got to have repaired? You know, he would never let us come in. And then, you know, then he moved some young lady in that when he signed the agreement with me, he told me it was just gonna be him and his son. He was doing all that, but some young lady popped up out of nowhere about a year ago and said she was his daughter. They had some guy, black guy, staying there.
he asked us,
He asked us, I didn't even know he was there.
this is hot, let me finish. We were there in the backyard, his daughter ran out screaming. We didn't even know what was going on. Raul then told us her boyfriend is living there. On the lease, he doesn't have a current lease, never renewed the lease. Because when he has animals, a whole bunch of animals around the property, it's a whole bunch of stuff around the property. And then we found out about his daughter. We found out about the daughter boyfriend being there. We were in the backyard, his daughter ran out screaming. He said his daughter and her boyfriend argues, the boyfriend is staying there, could you go tell him to get out? My husband went in, asked the boyfriend to leave, said we'd be back to make sure you're gone. We came back, he was gone. It's the number of things that he did to break the lease. So I just tried to prepare, like even when I talked about lowering the rent, so he could move, I did all I could so that he could get out the home, just to prepare to leave the home. Raul didn't want to, he said, take him to court, or he even talked about fixing things. When I force someone to fix, I have to tell them he has bed bugs. Raul said the bed bugs are so bad that they bite him and he wakes up bleeding. So I have to let a person know before they come in, hey, he has bed bugs, so they won't sue me. Once you tell a person he has bed bugs, they said address that issue. I can't have an exterminator come out. That's why he really needs to get out, because everything needs to be removed. And we're looking, that's a costly process, a very costly process. Just like I didn't even, last time when they said we couldn't go forward, he needed an interpreter. It's like all kind of games. Code compliance for the red tag on the home, only for the rental certificate. We had to call the police over 5 times because they kept trying to stay there. The police came, they will have sympathy for him. But the right is right, wrong is wrong. I feel like if you come out a couple times and tell somebody you can't do this, why do they have to keep telling him? We even got a bill for them having to board the home up because he left our home unsecure. We're incurring all
So
these,
the home was boarded up now?
the one door, they had to board, they said it was unlike the police called and said the home was unsecured, so they called somebody to board it up. And then we get a bill from code compliance.
Okay, when did the lease expire?
I believe Raul lease might have expired in 21.
2021?
Yes.
You believe or you know?
Okay.
Do you have a copy of your lease?
No.
Okay, well, and you didn't attach one, I don't believe, to your complaint. So you could easily say it didn't expire. You didn't bring any evidence to say that it expired, correct?
Well, no, I did not, probably when I went to the court, I talked to him about this, and, you know, had not had no lease to sign it, no. I didn't even know this would go this far, you know, he wasn't happy there, said, hey, he wants to move, but he's just like taking me to court. I even said, Raul said, well, I said, Raul, you know, we have to get rid of the bed, but this is what he threw his hands up. It's like, it was no reconciliation with him on his part, but I did my due diligence to prepare. So it's like Raul stayed, he said he didn't want to be there, he stayed there, and I just don't want to rent anymore. In code compliance, I mean, you could verify, I spoke with the officer, he said once he moves out, he will remove the fees they charge for the red tag, the monitor, because we said we're not renting no more after this. We do not want to rent that home at all. But it's just becoming a lengthy process. And in the process, we're looking like the villains, and I just think this is absolutely crazy. This is crazy.
Yes, sir.
And you know, by right, he haven't paid us rent since last month, since last year. But I haven't been over there, and then I can't even go there to cut the grass because the young lady is so belligerent. She jumped over the fence at me with the police there, threatened me, talking about I beat your A and all this. I said, I ain't got time for this, man. And then I told the police, I said, you know, they said, you want to press charge? I said, no, this man, I don't even know who that young lady is. She just popped up out of nowhere. He told me he only had one son.
Okay, so is the daughter, was she ever on the lease?
No.
Oh, anything else you want to add today?
He wouldn't renew the lease. We tried to drop the rent down $50 to look out for him, trying to be nice. And he said, no, I like things the way it is. I don't want this, I don't want that. I was, okay. We just don't want no problem. I don't go over there with my wife. She go over there to collect the rent when he was paying. And she always got to go to the back door. He'd come and crack the door and he'd stick an envelope out and say rent on it. You know, she give him a rent receipt, you know. And then when he said he didn't want to pay rent and this, that, I told my wife, I said, just tell him. He told me he was putting in an escrow or something like that. And I said, just tell him to keep his money and use his money to find him another place. God bless you.
You said no.
And he said, no, I want to go to court. And then next thing I know, she come to court. They say he need an interpreter. I said, interpreter for what? This man been talking.
I didn't even know he spoke another language.
We didn't even know he spoke Spanish. He never spoke no Spanish to me. Okay. And I'm the one rented to him.
I get anything else relative to this case today?
That's it. We just want our property back. That's
Okay.
all, Your Honor.
Thank you. Ms. Till.
All right, thank you, Your Honor. Today, we're representing Raul Lopez as the counter plaintiff and defendant. We are here to determine if counter defendants Marvin and Jennifer McNeil breached their duties under the lease agreement and under Michigan law. We filed a complaint for constructive eviction, saying that Mr. Lopez was unlawfully constructively evicted from the home when a red tag was placed on his property on or around September 19th, 2022. He has been staying in motels since that date.
So red tag, the property was red tag September 2022? Or was it October?
Your Honor, he was staying there after.
This is, you can't speak out of turn. She didn't interrupt you.
Sorry.
If you see our exhibit F, which I can enter now, or
Yeah, I don't have any exhibits. So nobody gave me any exhibits. So I don't have any exhibits. Thank you.
So,
And they got a copy of your exhibits? Okay, so you're referring to Exhibit F?
yes,
Okay, I see there, this is a red tag from September 19, 2022. Okay,
correct, Your Honor.
you can continue.
All right, thank you. Since moving into the residence in 2018, Mr. Lopez has had ongoing with care issues that the counter defendant has repeatedly failed to properly address. They were notified via letter less than 1 month after Mr. Lopez moved onto the property. Since through that inaction, the property has become completely uninhabitable, and I will have Mr. Lopez testify to the conditions and produce exhibits as to the conditions in the home. Today, the pictures were taken within the past couple of days, and the ceiling has almost completely caved in. So the property has come, and he's been essentially evicted from the home without a court order and deprived of complete use and enjoyment of the property, and is forced to take refuge in hotel rooms, costing him thousands of dollars out of his own pocket. Mr. Lopez will describe issues such as leaks, flooding, and of course bed bugs that have not been properly addressed. He should be at least compensated for some of his hotel bills. The statute, pursuant to the statute on constructive eviction, every incident and has been interpreted case law. Each day is considered one incident is $200 a day. So at that rate, Mr. Lopez hasn't been able to stay on the property since September 19th of 22. So that would be quite a significant amount, and we're counting at that $200 per day under the statute. So he should be, for this reason, we ask that his hotel bills be covered by plaintiffs and be compensated for his inability to fully use and enjoy the property that they rented.
Okay. Are you calling a witness?
Yes, they are going to call Mr. Raul Lopez.
Mr. Lopez? Needs to come up here. Raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give is the truth and the whole truth under the penalty of perjury?
I do.
Have a seat, please. You can proceed, Mr. Or state your name for the record again.
Yannis Martinez, Your Honor.
Okay, you can proceed, Ms. Martinez.
Thank you, Your Honor. Can you state your name for the record, please?
Raul Lopez.
Mr. Lopez, how do you know Marvin and Jennifer?
I had a friend who find the house for me, and so we came to look at it.
And do you currently live at 1201 Lathrop Street?
Yes,
How long have you been living there?
I believe it's 4 years.
Okay. Who has lived in the residence with you?
Me and my son.
When you moved into the property, were there any repair issues?
When I moved to the property, 2 months after I moved, there was inspection. They did inspection in the city, and she did find out a lot of stuff in there.
Can you explain some of the issues that you were having?
There also was in the basement, like the pipe go down in the floor, the sewage, There was, they were replaced, there was new cement put in the floor. There was wire, the water, well, there was a lot of stuff there. So,
Did you have issues with leaks?
there was no, at other times, there was no leak in there, no.
Did you have any issues with the windows?
The windows, they all had to be replaced.
Did you have issues with bed bugs?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So you talked about 2 months after, or a month after you moved in.
Yeah,
you sent them
yeah.
a
So,
letter.
yeah. So-
Your Honor, so at this time, I would like to enter exhibits A and B. So these are letters that were sent by Mr. Lopez.
Well, you can't testify as to what they are. He's gotta tell you what they are.
So what I'm about to show you has been marked as Defendant's Exhibit A and B. Do you recognize what these are?
Is that a yes?
Hmm?
Is that a yes?
Yes,
Can you tell us what they are?
I can now read.
He said what?
You cannot read.
Okay, you're kind of far from him, so I don't know if he can
Come
see it, yeah.
closer. Do you recognize what these are?
No. Because I cannot read. That's why my problem is.
He cannot
can read.
recognize that he can't read.
Yes.
Well, can I explain a little bit, Your Honor?
Well, you can't give testimony. He has to give testimony. You can ask him questions that may help explain.
Okay, do you remember talking to your caseworker about the issues that you were having at the house?
To who?
To your caseworker?
My kid?
Yeah.
Well, my son know everything. My son is a special need. And,
No, so
Do you have a caseworker?
no, I was gonna report this
your
to
friend
my,
who is
yeah.
the caseworker?
Yeah. No, I don't have a caseworker now, no. No.
Um,
Oh, one I call him a caseworker, somebody else, and if I,
Okay.
her, yeah.
Who's
So-
her?
You see Rachel Crossing,
Who's her?
you sitting in the corner.
Who is she?
What did she help you do? What are these?
No, that
Oh.
wasn't my question.
Okay.
Who is she?
Is she work, is
Where does she work?
she work with kid, it's
She work with
protective,
kids?
it's serve, yeah, protective service, whatever you call it.
Okay, so she's a caseworker for Child Protective Services?
No,
No?
it's for something else,
For something else?
yeah, yeah.
Okay, and is she assigned to work with you somehow?
Well, she used to come to the house, one time we had a problem, and they called protective service, so she
Okay.
came to the house, yeah. So
Okay.
she worked for
Oh,
my kid for 6 months, yeah.
sounds good. You might have to call that witness at some point, but you can continue.
Okay. So did you let her know that you were having issues at the property?
Yeah, yeah, Yeah.
And did she help you write any letters?
yeah,
So do you recognize these as something that she wrote for you and you sent to the landlord?
yes, I believe so, yeah,
Okay, and so,
Have you seen those before?
yes, yes.
Okay.
Your Honor, I move to admit exhibits A and B.
Is there any objection to the admission of that? Did you
Yes,
get a copy of those?
No.
We never got a copy. He don't even call us. He's never called us since he been there. No
Well,
communication.
my questions are very specific.
Yeah, no,
Is
no.
it,
No.
I
No.
want to know if you're objecting to them
We
entering
object.
these
We
in-
never seen
object. We never saw that. Something new right there. Just made up.
they're gonna give you a copy of them. Okay, okay, so you're objecting to the entry of these
Yes,
because
it's
you
something just.
said you've never seen
No.
them.
No,
Okay, the objection is noted, but I'm gonna overrule it and you'll have an opportunity to question him or his witnesses about that, okay? You can proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. So These were sent, the first one in July of 2018, is that correct? And then in them, you said that the shower was supposed to be installed.
The whole, support build the whole shower.
Okay, was that
Yeah.
ever installed?
Yeah, no, she never did that. No.
Okay, and then the bathtub was leaking at that point?
Yeah, she was leaking. Yeah. She took 3 more to fix it. I guess it's a cost probably about 25 cents.
Okay, was this leading to high water bills?
Yeah.
And then you talked about the leak in the basement.
Yes.
Was that ever fixed?
No.
And then you said there were holes in the window frames,
Yeah.
no screens.
Yeah.
You also talked about the carpet was really old and
Yeah.
worn.
Yeah.
Okay, and then the house was really dirty when you moved in.
Yeah.
Okay,
Oh, my.
She never. No, never.
okay, so. So these issues were reported to Marvin and Jennifer Lynn?
Yeah.
Okay, so I wanted to further discuss the issue with the leaks. Can you explain where these leaks were?
The leak.
Mhm. Can you, move in here?
Well, there is. We got all the lead, and every 6 months, I have they have to bring me the paper so I can sign it, renew the lead, and sometimes maybe in 1 year they did that. After that, I had a talk.
I think he's
The-
talking about the
the
lease.
Yeah.
You're
No, I'm
asking
talking
about a
the
leak.
The
Lease,
leaks from the
the
bathroom?
lease and the, yeah.
No, not a lease.
Yes,
The
100 times.
Okay, where did the leak come down to?
The lease come down for the toilet, down to the kitchen,
Okay,
sewage.
did the kitchen leak, did the ceiling collapse from the leaking?
Yeah,
Your Honor, at this point, so I'm going to show you what has been marked as Defendant Exhibit I. Do you recognize what this is?
yeah, this is the kitchen. This is what it was leaking.
So this is a picture of the kitchen.
Yeah,
Is it a fair and accurate representation?
they're all now on the floor.
Has it been altered in any way? Has this picture been altered in any way? When was this picture taken?
I cannot remember. We took so many pictures, but when we took pictures, we just 2 little tiny holes a lot of time. And so they start getting big and big and big. So
Your Honor, so-
what I moved there, we got out of the house. There was, I don't know, a couple months ago. They came down. This piece came down in the floor.
Okay.
Yeah.
Your Honor, at this time I move to enter Exhibit I.
Okay, do they get a copy of Exhibit I?
Yes.
Okay. Any objection to the omission of these pictures?
I object, Your Honor.
Why are you
The-
objecting?
The reason why, if that's like that now, is because the heat been
Well,
turned off.
we're not, this is not your time to explain why it's like that.
Yeah, I
They're
don't even know
admitting,
it's like that.
they're just admitting the pictures. Is this the,
We never been allowed to get it.
that's not the question. Are you objecting? You have to have a legal basis to object to the omission of these. It could be,
Yeah.
this ain't my kitchen that I rented to him. It
That's
could
not.
be, this is not your kitchen?
Yeah,
That's your property?
That's my kitchen, but that kitchen went like that.
No, I didn't ask you that.
Yeah, yeah, this is my first time seeing this.
No, I'm not, I don't discount that. I'm not saying that it's not. But is this the kitchen?
That's
At the
kitchen.
property that you
Yes,
rented
yes,
him?
ma'am.
Okay, the exhibit I is admitted. I am noting your objection. And you'll have an opportunity to explain the reason for that when you get to testify, okay?
Thank you. So did they ever fix the leak that was coming from the upstairs bathroom down into the kitchen?
They put a new toilet. And after they put the new toilet, I mean, they put the new toilet and the top of the sewage, the lumber, all the stuff, should be replaced, the whole bathroom. So they said that in there, it still leak.
Okay.
Yeah.
So at this point, I want to talk about the issue you had with the window. Can you tell us more about that? What was going on with the windows?
The windows, some of the windows they had in the shade, you know, when you close the shade, they like they pull screw, so you cannot raise it out.
Did you let them know about that?
Most of the window that was all like that. Yeah.
Did you let them know that the windows were unable
Yeah,
to be
yeah.
opened?
She in some windows she took the screw out in the bathroom one time.
So that sounds really dangerous. And then event of a fire, would you have been able
Wait a
to?
minute, wait a minute. You can't do that.
That's what I'm saying. Again, it's
You,
good.
you can't tell somebody, you can give testimony. He has to give the testimony. You can't suggest danger to him. He has to say those words, okay?
Okay, sorry.
Thank you. That's stricken from the record. You can continue.
So were the windows ever repaired?
No.
Okay.
Never.
So Mr. Lopez, you mentioned that there were some issues with the porch electricity.
Yeah, the electricity just go up and down. I had a call for the water and light, and they came outside and they looked, and there was a wire burn out.
Did you let your landlord know?
Huh?
Did you let the landlord know?
I don't know if they call the landlord, but yeah, I think so, totally, yeah. I think so, totally. But, you know, they fixed it, you know,
Object.
yeah,
He
they
didn't
fixed
let
that.
us-
What, no, what's the objection?
He said he let us know. He didn't.
Okay, this is not, so the way the objections work is you have to object because of some evidentiary like issue. Not, I'm object because I disagree. Your opportunity to argue or disagree is when you give your testimony, okay? So you have to give me a legal basis for an objection, and disagreement is not a legal basis, okay? So if you say it's not relevant or it's hearsay or something like that, that's a reason when you can object, okay? But what you should be doing is things that he's saying that you disagree with, you should be noting them down so that you can address that when it's your turn to talk, okay?
Thank you.
No problem.
So was the porch electricity repaired?
Yeah, they replay the electricity, yeah, but inside of the house, there was some problem, the water heated, blow some wire, got burned, the switch, about 2 times, because, I believe it was hooked wrong, so the furnace too, it was hooked wrong. The man who came and work in the furnace, find out, I said, oh, this wire is not over here, you know. Somebody did this wrong, yeah, and she's the one who do all the work in the house, electricity and everything.
Who's
Because
the one who do all the work?
yeah, him, the landlord.
He does the work in the house?
Yeah, the
Okay, so I'm
electricity
confused.
and
What happened?
everything.
What was wrong with the electricity?
Can you explain to the judge?
Well, they sometimes the lights go off,
Okay, so sometimes they go out like it's a short?
yeah, like a short,
Okay.
yeah, something like that, yeah.
Okay. Continue.
And then let's talk about the bed bugs. Were these an issue when you moved in?
Well, but I'm over there. You know, sometimes I feel some like, you know, chlorine over me, and I was thinking there was ant, you know, it's an old house. The house was built in 1909, so it's an old house, old. So ant get inside, you know, all this, a lot of insects get in there. But after they was like biting me, so one time in the night, I was not comfortable sleeping. And so I did lie there in my shirt because I sleep with shirt. And what I did like that, and I smell the smell really nasty. So I turned the lights on and my hands were full of blood.
So when did you notice the bed bugs?
Maybe maybe 2 months after I moved in there, yeah.
Did you have any bed bugs at your previous residence?
No, I didn't know what it say was bed bug, you know. I had to call somebody to find out, you know, and she told me, yeah.
Did you let your landlord know about the bed bugs?
Yeah. She said, no, it's not bed bug. You know, every time I talk to him, no, it's not bed bugs in there, you know.
When did you let them know about?
There was probably 3 or 4 months after that, yeah. Because my friend came and helped me with alcohol, put alcohol, a lot of stuff, yeah.
Okay, did the landlord ever address the bed bug issue?
No, they never care, either one. I'm sorry to say that, but they never care. No.
Okay. So did you ever notice, tags on the property from code compliance? On the door of the property?
No, after I move, after all the problems start,
So did you notice the red tag that was on there in September of 2022?
yeah, they put the first one, and because she was to fix it out, to fix the house, so she never did nothing like that because she wanted me out of the house. She wanted me out. So, so they took that one out and put another one, and I didn't know. I saw the window, the door, and they took it out, and I said, "What happened?" So after that, she was police coming and talk to me. I said, "Hey, what are you doing here? You gotta get out. You cannot be here." I said, "What?" So I look, and they put another one, and it's Sunday. I don't know why they do that on Sunday. And on Sunday they put another one. So the same day they put that in there. So the police said, "No, you gotta move. You gotta go someplace." So we let and find a motel. I remember about $110 for the night, but I don't like it there because it was bad.
So what I'm about to show you are exhibits D and E, and these are from code compliant. Do you recognize these?
Yeah.
Can you tell us what they are?
No.
But have you seen these before?
Bueno, this is the first time. Yeah, this is the,
So did you ever receive anything like this in the mail?
so no, not like that. No, but all the,
So, Your Honor, with his not being able to read, I don't know if he understands what they are, but he should know about them.
Yeah.
I can't identify them, so I can't help you with that.
yeah, excuse
He
me.
said he's never seen them.
Yeah.
Because I'm the one who called compliant because the house it was.
Well, do you
falling
know
apart.
why the house was red tagged?
So they came, they said they are call compliant. And I said, "Hey, I need somebody come and look at the house because this house is falling apart."
Okay.
And so the same day, about 2 hours, they came and moved it.
Okay.
The
So
people
you
there.
said the police came and they told you to leave. So where are you currently living right now?
Well, I live in a motel,
What's the name of the motel?
Green Motel,
Okay.
yeah, on 27.
Do you remember
No.
when you moved into the Green Acres Motel?
Oh, I cannot, that's gotta be in the paper, no, I cannot remember. Because I'm sorry. I moved to different, I stay in one motel 2 days, and I moved to another one, and I stayed 2 days, and I moved to another one and stay there for a week. And this one, I may stay there over 3 months, probably more.
Okay, so
Let me ask a question. How long have you been staying in a hotel?
Oh, God. The day I moved out of the house,
What day was that?
she was the day they put the sticker there, I removed 19,
September.
yeah.
This is September?
Something like that, yeah, 19, yeah, 16 or something like that.
Okay.
How much are you paying to live at the Green Acres Motel per day?
I pay $65.
$65
Yeah.
a day. Do you roughly know how much you paid in this whole amount of time since you moved out? Do you have an estimate of how much you paid?
But I don't know, they received, yeah, but I don't know, I cannot remember, because I never figured out, but it's a lot of money.
So I'm gonna show you what has been marked, Defendant's Exhibit C. Do you recognize what these are?
Yep,
What are they?
yep.
Can you tell us what they are?
Yeah, that's the receipt for the motel. You see, they don't give me a receipt every day, you know. I got those receipts because I told it, I said, no, I need a receipt. Yeah, this
Okay.
is this is all it.
Are these
Yeah.
a fair and accurate representation of what you've seen?
Yeah,
Have they been altered in any way? Your Honor, at this time, I move to enter defendant exhibit C.
Do they see as any objection to?
I object. I don't understand. I see the date with the same date, February 21st, 23, with two amounts. And then I'm a little confused how he's on a fixed income. He talked about how he could barely afford our rent, which is
I recognize that, but that's not a basis for an objection. You gotta address that when you get to court. So you're also gonna have an opportunity to question him. So you can address those things, but I already told you, because you guys are representing yourself, so you still have to follow the court rules. So when you make an objection, you have to have a legal basis under the rules of evidence as to why you're objecting. You can't object because you have questions about his fixed income. You can ask him about his income or if questions, if it's relevant, when you get a chance. But I want to know if you're objecting to the entry of these. He said that these were receipts. Were these supposed to be receipts from hotels? Receipts from a hotel. He's alleging he had to stay in the hotel. Your objection could be you don't feel like it's relevant, or it could be any, you don't think it's authentic. It could be any of that.
but I don't think it's authentic.
Okay, so your objection is to the authentication?
Yes.
Okay, I see here a stamp on it says Green Acres Motel. And it's receipt received from Antonio Lopez. And they reflect different dates and time. I don't have any reason to dispute the authentication or authenticity. And so the objection is noted but overruled. Exhibit C is admitted.
At this time, I'd also like to show defendant exhibit G.
G, my girl. Okay.
Do you recognize what this is?
yeah, this is the dollar motel I stay.
Is it a fair and accurate representation of what you?
Yeah, yeah.
Has it
But
been-
here is a little more money.
And
Yeah,
has it been altered in any way since you've last seen it?
I just got this new long ago,
Okay.
couple days ago.
Your Honor, at this point, I move to enter exhibit G into
Okay, exhibit G is his
Red Roof.
receipts from Red Roof
Yep.
Hotel. Any objection to the omission of the receipts?
No.
Sorry, the receipts are admitted.
Thank you, Your Honor. So how long have you been out of the house then? About 5 months,
Something like that, maybe.
maybe more? Okay. Have you been trying to find other housing
Yes.
that's not living at the
Yes.
hotel?
Yes.
What have you been doing to find other housing?
I'm looking and looking, you know, in the papers, you know, but the problem is I got a son, he's autistic, and I cannot live in an apartment because sometimes it get, you know, a little loud, and that's the big problem, you know. It's not like living in an apartment, you know, because we always, you know, live in houses. You know.
Okay, have you ever been contacted by Marvin and Jennifer to let you know if you could move back into the house?
No.
We rest, Your Honor.
Okay. How old is
No, we
your
don't
son?
rest, I'm
Okay.
joking, mine.
How old is your son?
My son is 27 years old, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's, you know, it's kind of, she want to come to this court. I said, no. Because he's mad because what happened, you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we can't talk about what he wants to do, but I just want to know how old he was because
Yeah, so it was born
I'm
11,
trying to connect
96.
the worker. But maybe we'll get that later if they call another witness. Okay, no other questions for this witness at
No
this
other
time?
questions for this witness.
Okay, you can question the witness.
Raul, when you moved in our home, didn't you have a caseworker that inspected the home before you signed the lease?
Yeah, there was not, the John worked with Junior.
I'm sorry?
So it's yes or no? Did you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay, Raul, if you moved in the home and you had issues a couple of months after, why did you renew your lease afterwards?
The lease, you the one who bring the lease to me.
You signed it.
Sometimes I had to tell you, bring the lease because it's 6 months spice, you know.
Because what?
The 6 months, I ran it.
Every 6 months?
Every 6 months, yeah.
Okay, so the question is, why would you renew after 6 months if there was issues? That's the question.
No,
Multiple times. You renew multiple times after you first
Yeah.
moved in. Why would you continue to renew if you first moved in? and kept
Let him
having
answer the
issues?
question.
What is, I mean,
Why did you keep renewing the lease if
Bueno,
you had issues from when you first moved in?
that was the first when I moved there.
You stated. You
What was the
stated-
question?
He said.
I mean, what was the answer? I didn't hear your answers, Mr.
That was what I moved there, you know, the first one I moved there, like every 6 months, you know, and yeah, I like to have the lease renewed because, you know, a problem. So,
You like the release renewed because what?
because it's the law, you gotta renew the lease.
Right, you know, it's not the law, you don't have to renew the lease, you can move.
Yeah, but what,
Why didn't you move?
there was no issue by the time, Your Honor.
Because there was, because it was
There
what?
was nothing wrong.
There was nothing wrong?
Yeah. there
Okay,
is
here's your
that,
answer,
yeah.
you can keep moving.
Okay.
You can ask him a question.
Raul, if you had a problem and you said you was there 2 months and you noticed you had bed bugs, hold on. You noticed you had bed bugs. Why did you renew the first 6 months?
He just answered that.
He just said.
I'm just saying, but
He
said
just
he didn't
answered
have a
that, he
problem.
said there was nothing wrong.
That's what I'm saying. It was nothing wrong.
You can't ask the same question
Okay,
again.
okay, wait, hold on. But here it is, 2022, and you moved in there in 2018. Why would you stay in a house? It got bed bugs.
We already answered that question.
Because, can I speak, Your Honor? Because we was spraying the bed bug, put alcohol. So I have, somebody told me to buy something out and that it was working. So I feel.
You say you bought alcohol and it
Yeah,
was
well,
working?
Yeah.
For the bed bugs?
Yeah.
Do you,
So-
so did you have bed bugs from the time that you first noticed it until now, or did they stop?
They stopped a little.
They
And,
stopped a
you know,
little?
and like in the winter.
You said in the winter?
In the winter, yeah, they like a kind of disappear, you know.
They disappeared in the winter?
Yeah, like the high, yeah.
Okay, you can continue.
Okay, well, I'm asking this question because I'm confused. You stated when your lawyer was questioning, you say you had issues 2 months after. I just asked you and you said that you renewed your lease every 6 months because there were initially no issues. So which one is it?
The problem, I just keep on telling you, it is, I supposed to renew the lease every 6 months, and there was, you know, by the problem, it was not just the bed bug, you know. This problem start, can you give me the, excuse me?
I'm sorry, what?
I got it, the bed now, you know,
A bag?
because they asked me question, so I'm gonna ask those both a question.
No, you can't answer a question by asking them a question. You have to answer their question. sir.
I just got it show.
So the question was,
Yeah.
why did you renew the lease, I think, is that the
Yeah,
question again?
Multiple times.
Yeah.
Well, why did you continue to
Yeah.
stay there and renew the lease if you were having issues is the question?
Because they always said that we're gonna fix this, we're gonna put a new door, we're gonna put new windows. One day I waited a whole day because he told me, I remember it was 30. And I waited for the window people to come to put new windows, they never show up.
Okay, so you stayed because they promised to fix the issue.
Yeah, and they never,
Thank you.
nobody
Next
ever
question.
come. And this has happened with the whole house.
Well, right after you moved in, didn't code compliance come inspect the home?
For compliance.
Right after you moved in, after you moved in, your caseworker inspected the home and found the home was okay. Did code compliance come out and inspect the home right after you moved in?
2 months, the call complaint or the inspectors, they're the same.
They're the same.
Yeah, they did inspection and they took 3 months. They only they only 30 days to fix it, and they took 3 more to fix it. And while they left, they most of the time they worked in the basement. All the mess was in the basement. So they left, and the house, inside the house, like those floors, the inspector told it, put new floor, breakers, because, see a fire or something like that, they break, they turn off by themselves. They never simply replace the alarm, the smoke alarm. They told you need a new one because that was like 100 years old. Those ones in there, they never worked. She took 3 years to replace it.
So code compliance came in right after you moved into the
About 2
house?
months, yeah, after
And
I
then
moved.
they said that they need to replace the fire alarm or the
Yes.
detector,
Uh-huh,
and it took
yeah.
them 3 years to do that?
Yeah, to do that, yes, yeah.
Okay, you can continue.
Okay, Raul, isn't it true that after code compliance came and inspected the home and needed things repaired, that they came back and inspected and approved the home for rental certificate?
Yeah, they proved the home, but the home she was not finished.
No, I said,
Because there was all in the basement, they only worked in the basement.
okay, well, I just wanna say
Yeah.
for the record, you do know when code compliance came, the people that worked on the home had to be licensed and full permit. And you do know that. code
Is that a
compliance-
question? You gotta give them, you gotta let them answer it.
Okay, so are you aware that the issues were fixed or whatever code compliance found out and they approved, the city or came out and inspected and approved the house to be livable?
The basement,
No,
They
code-
approved the
not the
basement?
whole house, not the whole house, Your Honor, the whole house, no. Yeah,
So why didn't they red tag it?
Hmm?
If they didn't approve the whole house,
but this is
they
3
red tagged.
this is 3 years ago, 3.5 years ago.
Did they red tag it then?
Yeah, this is now, yeah, 3 years.
No,
yeah.
the question was, did they red tag it 3 years ago?
Huh? This has happened 3 years ago.
No, but was
Your
the
Honor.
property red tagged 3 years ago?
No,
Okay.
just now, yeah.
Okay, next question.
And was you standing there?
Huh?
You were standing for the 3 years that they didn't red tag it, right?
No, because I never did call.
Oh, you moved out 3 years ago?
No, because they never came because I never call. I should have called. Because you was not doing your job. You was not fixing it.
Who-
I'm
who
sorry
did you
to say
call?
that. You
Who'd you
now,
call, Raul?
you're supposed to put new doors.
No, I'm talking about you called me?
Huh?
You called me
Say
or my
you-
wife?
You're,
Did you call me or my wife?
you come to the house. She collected and ran every month. And I tell her, hey, this happened.
You wouldn't let her in to see the house?
Why did you
Is
say
that a question?
She's
Yes.
coming to the
But
house.
this is not
Okay.
time to argue.
No, no, I'm
You
not
argue at
arguing.
home.
I'm
You
not-
don't argue in court.
Yeah, you're right.
You can
You're
ask
right,
the
Your Honor.
question.
No more questions. I ain't got no more questions.
Okay.
Any more
Okay,
questions, ma'am?
I do have questions. You said you called code compliance.
Yes.
Before the home was red tag. You stated that they found many issues.
The
in
house,
home.
I told her the house she was coming apart.
Okay. Raul, are you aware that when they red tagged it, the only issue they listed on this paper is that we didn't do our rental certificate, correct?
A long time ago. When I moved there,
Look, so you have to answer the question.
the house it was not registered, and that's dangerous. You put my son and me in danger. No insurance in your house, nothing.
Yeah,
Are you gonna answer the question?
Your Honor,
Yes.
even right now, we got insurance on the house. We got
Yes,
insurance.
yeah,
on
this is
the
not
house.
your time to give argument or testimony. This
Yeah.
is time to answer that question you asked. You gotta answer her question.
What question?
What was your last question, ma'am?
My last question was, you called code compliance, you said they stated many issues. Are you aware that the only issue stated on the paper is that we didn't renew our rental certificate?
Are you aware of that? Yes or no?
No.
Okay,
No,
thank you.
I'm
Next
not.
question.
Yeah.
Raul, did you move your daughter in the home without letting us know?
Yes or no?
Can I explain? Your-
No, it's not. The question is, did you move your daughter in the house without letting them know? Is that a yes or a no?
I moved my daughter in the house because I was
No,
hurt.
did
I
you
had
let
an
them know-
accident.
That's not the question. Your attorney will have an opportunity to redirect and they can,
Okay.
and
okay.
they can ask why if they want. But her, you gotta answer their
Yes,
question.
yeah,
Did
yeah,
you let them know that you were
Yeah.
moving her in?
yeah, she came, yeah.
Did you let them know that you were moving her in?
They told me she was okay.
So you did let them know?
Huh?
You let them know?
Yeah, they were
Okay,
there,
thank you.
yes. And they wanted me, see, I want to put her in the lead. And I said, no, because she's not gonna be here, alone,
Okay, but did you let them know before you moved her in?
Mhm.
Did you let them know before you moved her in that your daughter was coming to move in?
My daughter, she was there because she coming and visit me. Not because she wasn't living there.
Okay, but at some point she started living there?
Huh?
At some point she started living there?
Yeah,
Okay, did you let them know before she started living there that she was gonna live there?
they told me she was okay.
Now, you're not answering my question now. So I'm gonna make my own determination that you're evading the answer. I asked a very direct question. Did you tell them before she started living there that she was going to come live there? Yes or no?
Your Honor, not just living there because she was staying.
You've already told us she was
someplace else.
living there.
No,
Okay.
Rose,
No, you didn't tell them. Okay, continue.
bro, did you move your daughter's boyfriend in without telling us?
her, yeah, and I didn't know that.
You mean her, she moved her boyfriend in
Yeah.
and you didn't know?
No, I didn't know, yeah, no.
Why didn't you know?
Because I didn't know.
You didn't live there?
Yeah,
you
I
living-
live there, yeah. But
Why didn't you know that the boyfriend
because-
was living there?
Because I didn't know. I don't go most of the basement. She was staying,
She was staying in the basement?
yeah, in the basement, yeah, yeah. So I told her, no, I said, she cannot stay here. No, it's gotta go,
Okay, next
Yeah.
question.
Raul, many times we've talked about your income. You told me you're on a fixed income. You couldn't afford much else. How is it that you can afford these hotel bills, which means that
because
I'm not done. How can you afford these hotel bills, which are very much more than what your rent was?
This is an objection.
because
What's the objection for?
Is it of relevance in your honor?
Thank you. That's not relevant. Objection is sustained.
Also, Raul, did you not, you signed the lease and we said no pets,
yeah, no pay.
okay?
Because
and-
I had it.
No, you don't.
Excuse
The
me,
question is, did you sign a lease, no pets? You said no pets. Next question.
Yeah. I came over there and saw a big bowl out there that you was feeding all the cats in the neighborhood.
Those cats, they're not inside of the house.
No,
Those-
that's still there, that's
Okay.
pets.
Okay, so
There are
did you
some
have any pets?
Huh? They told me I can have a cat because there was mouse in the house.
You
inside of the
had
house.
mice?
Yeah.
You notified them that you had mice?
Yeah. So I let it go because I don't like cat. I don't like cat living inside of the house.
So you had a cat, did you have,
They told me to bring the cat.
but did you have cats inside the house?
No.
Okay, so you had a bowl outside,
Yeah, those both they are cat. Everybody's cat.
neighborhood cats?
Yeah, everybody's cat
Next
outside. Yeah,
question.
and I feed a cat.
Your Honor, also,
Well, the questions are for him, I'm not on the
yeah,
stand.
okay. Raul, I also asked you about those trucks and all them cars you got back there and all that junk you got around the house. You got furniture everywhere around there. I asked you to remove that stuff. You
Yeah.
never did it.
Is that a question?
Yes.
Did you remove
Why
the
didn't
stuff?
you remove it? It's still
Never
there.
told me anything.
Okay, he said you never told him anything.
Raul, you say that you contacted us about issues. And do you have any proof?
No, do you have any proof?
No, you don't get to ask them,
Yeah.
you don't get to ask them
Yeah.
questions. They're not on the stand, but they may take the stand and then
Yeah.
your attorney can ask, but you don't get to ask them, you have to
Okay,
answer.
yeah.
The question is, do you have proof that you contacted them about issues?
Issue and the phone
You contacted them on the phone?
and the phone. Sometimes she come to the house and collect the rent and I tell her, so she put
Do you
it
have
in the
proof?
cell phone, all that, yeah.
Do you have proof?
Huh?
of your- I'm saying you did not, you have not told me these things. That's why I'm asking, do you have proof?
Because you put it in there, you're the one supposed to have the proof and your cell phone.
Okay, well, he's saying that he talked to you, a text message?
Yes, she put everything, like anything to fix in the house. She go there and put it there and say.
So did you tell her face to face?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, did you ever text her that there was issues?
No, no.
Okay,
I do the stuff, but she come.
you say,
Collect the rent.
right,
Yeah.
can you write in English?
No,
Okay.
No.
Any other questions?
Well, I don't have.
Okay, redirect.
So. So you testified that you did move your daughter in, correct?
she go there,
Take your hand away from your mouth, please.
she move there. Okay.
Can
want-
you tell me-
I gotta tell her that,
You gotta
Yes.
wait for me to ask the
Uh-huh.
question.
okay,
Why did you move your daughter into the home?
because I was sick. I have an accident in his house, in the top. I was taking the bed, when I tried to get out of the top, my hand slipped and I hurt on my shoulder.
Okay,
So, okay, go ahead.
so just, so you moved your daughter in, did you move your daughter in to help to help you after you were injured?
Yes,
Okay,
yes,
and did you tell your landlord that
yes, they
you
know
had to move her in?
everything, yes.
Where was she staying in the
Huh?
house?
She was staying in the basement.
Okay, now, you also testified that. All right, so have you ever had any pets in the home?
No,
Okay. Now, you said you had a bowl for the neighborhood cats. Did they ever come in? You said you had a bowl for the neighborhood cats
yeah, outside, by the fence.
on side by the fence. Okay, did you ever bring the cats into the home,
No,
even in the winter?
no, they stay outside.
Okay, even if it's really cold.
Well, they are sleep and they leave the ground.
Okay,
It's another house where they garage, they sleep in there. Yeah.
all right. With the when you first moved in and you testified that you had spoken to your caseworker, did you send you sent a letter to your landlord
Yeah.
with her help?
Yeah, I don't know if they got it or what, but I did, but I've seen it, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
and when she helped you with this letter, did you give it to your landlord?
yeah. I seen it, we seen it today.
Okay,
Yeah,
Objection.
to the address.
Yep, there's an objection. What's the
He had a
objection?
male caseworker when he moved in. That she was not his caseworker.
So
can
what's
have-
what's the objection though?
Because she's talking about these letters from 2018 and 19. He had a male caseworker.
Okay, but remember I shared before that objection means you have to be objecting to the evidence coming in because it violates a rule of evidence, not because you dispute the evidence. You obviously dispute what he's saying. That's why you guys are on opposite ends of the table. If you dispute something, it says you get to note it down so that you can address it when you give testimony, okay? Okay, you can proceed. Yeah.
so you also testified that you continued to renew your lease. Were any promises made to fix the home?
Every time she come there. They had, yes, I'm gonna fix this, I'm gonna fix that, leak in the roof. And now the whole roof came down and it happened the best because all the stuff is still there. Because I didn't have no time to find a place.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I guess going off on that, is it difficult for you to move?
Yes, because my son, yeah,
What about your son makes it difficult for you to move?
yeah, it's make it hard because I cannot move to apartments because it's noisy. Sometimes they get mail, it's got an excuse. Yeah.
I don't know, so
Yeah.
so that's why we want to tell the court. What, does your son have any disabilities?
Yes, Yeah.
What disabilities does he
I
have?
know it's autistic.
You gotta take your hand away from.
He's
your mouth.
already said it before that he was autistic.
Yeah.
Okay,
so-
what
yeah.
about that autism makes it difficult for him? to
Yeah,
move?
well, sometimes, yes, he gets
So
angry
what is it about the autism that makes it difficult for you to move with him?
because he make noise, and sometimes he watch TV, all the dirty stuff on TV, they learn everywhere, and cause something like that.
So,
Yeah.
so if you need to pick up and move suddenly because there's issues, is that gonna be an easy thing for you?
Step on the house, yeah, that'd be pretty good. But apartment, I can live in an apartment.
Okay, so if. All right. Nothing further.
Thank you, ma'am. This witness be excused from the stand.
Yes.
Okay, you can have a seat there. We're gonna take a recess, please. Okay, we're back on the record. Call your next witness.
All right, thank you. The defense would like to call Rachel Rosen.
You solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give is the truth and the whole truth under the penalty of perjury.
Yes.
You can have a seat. And can you please, these are two rules. Actually, I'll go over them for you. If there's an objection, you would start your response so that the court can opine on that objection, and then I'll tell you if you can give your response or not. You need to give verbal responses, no head nods or shakes and uhs, okay?
Okay.
Can you spell your first and last name?
Rachel Prosen.
Prosen. You can proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. What is your occupation?
My current occupation is a family and community resource coordinator for child and family charities.
All right, and what does that involve?
Currently, I just do different things to help out families in the community, to help reduce barriers, just to help them be successful.
All right, are you employed by MDHHS or Child Protective Services or any other governmental agency in that capacity?
No.
Okay. How long have you been employed there?
I have been employed there for about 21 years.
Okay. Do you have any special degrees or qualifications?
I just have a bachelor's degree in sociology.
Okay, just for the record, Your Honor, I'm not trying to qualify her as an expert witness.
Thank you.
Are you acquainted with the defendant, Raul Lopez?
Yes, I am.
How are you acquainted with him?
I've known Raul for about 16 years.
Okay.
I first met up with him when I was a prevention worker at my agency, and his family was involved. They had an open CPS case. So I started working with them at the time as just like a prevention worker, trying to provide services and helping them reduce barriers, to help their family out. At the time, the mother of his children was still involved. And then I just kind of have continued to help him out and kept working with him because he's just kind of needed services. So he, I don't work with him daily, but he comes to see me when he needs stuff, basically.
I understand. So what kind of things do you typically help him out with?
I help him with housing stuff a lot. Any kind of major things that come up, like when he needs to do like renewals through DHS, any kind of issues maybe that come up when he needs help reading stuff or signing stuff or filling stuff out or stuff like that. He comes and sees me a few times a month.
Why does he need your help to read, fill stuff out, write, etc.?
Because he's illiterate.
Okay. Can you explain what that means to the court?
That means he's unable to read and write.
All right.
In any language.
Your Honor, may I approach the witness?
Okay.
All right. These documents that I'm going to be showing you have been labeled as defendants exhibits A and B. Can you take a look at those for me?
Yes.
All right. Do you recognize these?
Yes, I do.
What are they?
Those are letters that Raul and I wrote together that I took from him, his concerns. I helped him write these letters that he could send to his landlord with his rent.
Okay. Did you review these letters with him after they were typed?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
All the information was straight from him.
Okay. And did you yourself send these to the landlord or did you provide them to Raul?
I provided them to Raul.
Okay. And have these been altered in any way? I know it's been a while, but
they have not.
Okay. All right. Nothing further. I think these exhibits were already entered into the record.
They were.
All right, so we have nothing further for this witness. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Did you want to question this witness at all?
Did you help Raul sign any of his renewal leases with us?
I don't believe so. I was given copies of them just because he comes and he brings me stuff. I was privy to everything that was happening, and I I don't believe I helped him actually sign the lease, but we did talk about not signing the lease until some of the issues were taken care of.
Is this the original lease you're talking about or like a renewal? Lease?
Renewal leases.
Okay.
Do you know his other caseworker?
I know you're talking about John. That's his son's caseworker. That was his son's caseworker through CMH. That helped him find the housing.
Okay, yeah, that's what helps him with our leases and inspected.
Okay, thank you. You may be excused from that. Okay, any other witnesses or evidence? And for the record, I think I have admitted A, B, G, C.
I believe D, by my table, D was, D and E were registered as, or were.
Yeah, those were not admitted, so there wasn't even a motion to admit those.
Okay, then I would like to, if I wanted, if I may, Your Honor, I would like to make a motion to enter exhibits D and E for the business records exception.
Any objection to admission of D, to D and E?
Correct, Your
Which
Honor.
are both the code enforcement letters.
Yes, they're two separate letters.
Okay, thank you. Those will be admitted.
If you wanted me to make an offer of proof as to those, I can. But they're already.
There's no objection. Proceed.
And I believe we also wanted to enter exhibit J. But I believe we will have to recall the witness in order to do so. Or we can make a.
You can recall your witness because none of these pictures were admitted.
Okay, then if we can recall the witness Raul Lopez.
Oh. Look, we move that mic over because we can't keep isolating chairs. Okay, can you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give us the truth and the whole truth under penalty of perjury?
I do.
Thank you, sir. You can proceed.
Witness.
You may.
So Mr. Lopez, what I'm showing you here has been marked as defendant's exhibit J. Do you recognize these? You can take a, you can flip through them and then look up at the court when you're done.
This is a picture.
Just look at them right now. I'll ask you questions in a second. So just look at it, make sure you look at all of them. Okay. So do you, if I can take this back, do you recognize these?
Yeah,
All right, what are these pictures of?
there's my son bed in his room. Yeah,
Your son's bed in his room?
yeah.
All right, and have these who took these pictures? These pictures here?
What's it was? My daughter-in-law.
Okay, were you with her while she took these pictures?
Yes, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
have these images been altered in any way since they were provided to our office?
No.
All right. Thank you. Your Honor, I would move to enter exhibit J into the record.
Okay, I have a couple questions.
Yeah, I was,
When were these pictures taken?
when were these pictures taken? Just when?
Yesterday. I
Yes,
believe, yeah.
yesterday, these pictures were taken yesterday.
Okay, yesterday, and when did the property start looking like this? Like when did, this is the ceiling that's caved in? Is that what happens? When did that happen?
Your Honor, excuse me, I didn't been
You have to
inside,
move that.
upstairs.
You're
in
covering the
house.
mic.
I didn't been upstairs in the house for, I don't know how many months,
Okay.
you know. So I was looking for some yesterday and opened the door in my son's room where she used to sleep. And all the ceilings, it was on the top of the bed.
So you just noticed this the other day?
Yeah.
Okay, so this wasn't like this when you vacated?
No, but 5 or 6 months ago, no.
Okay, so, but it's like this now. This is
Yeah,
how-
it's
okay.
not like that, yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
Okay, any objections to the omission of these records or these photos?
No.
Okay, those are admitted.
Your Honor, I just also wanted to sorry, just clarify, exhibit F was entered. I believe that was the first exhibit we proffered. That was the red tag.
I think you talked about it in your openings.
Okay.
But there was no motion to admit that.
Okay. Alrighty. So, Mr. Lopez. You recognize this? Yes. Okay. Do you know who took this picture? So
Yeah.
you're pointing to exhibit J? So
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know
the
your
same,
daughter?
yeah.
Okay, and was this also taken yesterday?
Yeah, I believe so. Yesterday, yeah.
Okay, so do you know what this is?
Yeah, this is the thing, the last. Speaker, they put in the door, yeah.
Okay, and after you saw this picture, did you vacate the residence?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
and so this date, September 19th, 2022, was that the last day that you stayed at the property?
yes. Yeah.
So have you spent any nights on the property
No.
since this date?
Object.
What's the objection?
You got police statements that they had to come and put.
I'm not gonna tell you, I'm not gonna tell you any more time that you can't object because you dispute what he's saying.
Oh, okay, okay,
You have to object because of an evidentiary violation.
okay.
If you dispute what he's saying, what are you supposed to do? Write it down
Write it
and
down
wait your
waste my
turn
time.
to address it under oath. Okay? Okay, and as to exhibit F, there's a motion to admit.
Correct, Your Honor.
Okay, there's no dispute from the plaintiffs that the property's red tag, so that's admitted.
All right, thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
We have nothing further for a witness.
Thank you. Did you all want to call any witnesses or did you want to take the stand and address any of the things that you dispute at this time? I know you're not shaking your head because you kept objecting, disputing everything, so you gotta be, you gotta get that on the record now.
Okay. I'm gonna introduce these are papers from code compliance.
Are those the same ones that were already admitted?
Right.
Ms. Till, you have to show her a copy of them.
One is not the same, 2 is not the same, plaintiff exhibit 3. No, these are not the same pictures, but we have no
Okay.
objections to their entry.
No objections to the admission. Okay, and the way you get those admitted is through some testimony or offer of proof of something. So are you going to, ma'am, address any of the things that you dispute of what he said or provide any further information today? I'm not gonna make you sit up here. You can do it from there, but I just want to know if you want opportunity to provide more testimony evidence.
Well, I'd like to testify that, I would, the easiest way to.
Is it, but my question, are you gonna provide testimony at this time?
Yeah, I have to provide testimony.
Okay, well, no, that's not testimony. That's actual an exhibit. Testimony is when you all were objecting and saying you dispute, you were actually trying to give testimony.
Oh, okay.
That's what you were doing. You were trying to dispute what he was saying, and you can't do that through an objection.
Okay.
You have to dispute it through a testimony. So do you want to give testimony now? You raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give is the truth and the whole truth under penalty of perjury?
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, what is it that you want to share at this time as it relates to this case?
One, it looks like we're gonna incur a lot of fees, one with the bed bugs. He told me about bed bugs maybe a little over a year after he was there, that he had bed bugs. I guess when they got really bad, he told me again. Raul has kept a lot of things at the property, like the bowl that he feeds the cats with, it's on the back porch, like right when you walk out the door. I have actually seen cats in the house when we've been there. They're walking in, and his son has brought some in. So they do go in the home, and it's over a dozen of them. Raul has outside furniture, indoor furniture. It's a lot of stuff there. Even looking in the windows, he has boxes up. That was my biggest concern because the bed, when I called about.
You're blocking them.
When I talked about having the home exterminated. That's what they said. Everything has to be out of there. Raul has a lot of stuff there. We received a nuisance fee for the vehicles that he has there that can't operate. He has that. Those have been there.
Is that what your exhibits are?
Yes. The
Okay,
other one
can you get those from her, please?
The other one is for, well, this is for the vehicles he has. This is for all the things he has outside, which has been like that for years. This right here is for when the home had to be boarded up because he kept staying there when he wasn't supposed to. We had to call the police over 5 times. They went there after they left one time. They had the home unlocked.
You said he was staying there when he wasn't supposed to, and that's
Yes.
because the property was red tagged?
Yes, yes.
Was the red tag ever removed from the property by either of you?
No,
Okay.
no. The police had to come out. One time they came out, that's what that bill came from. They said that the door was open and that they were going to board it up. They called us on the phone, Lansing Police Department, and then we got a bill. They had it now.
Okay, this is a code enforcement trash and debris notice for March 14th. I'm sorry, March 7th, 2023. So this is from yesterday.
Yes, they came back out because I've been speaking with code compliance. Code compliance did let me know that they will take the red tag fee off of just because we're not renting no more. We don't want to rent no more after that home is falling apart. Like I'm glad that he admitted that he went there and saw it in those conditions, which is probably because he cut the utilities off. But Raul has not let me in the home, even collecting rent. Can ask him, he will come to the back door. I was not allowed in the home. The last time my husband went to go in the home, he said, well, do you want to come in for it? So we can't fix anything. I tried to use my keys. I don't know what happened. The keys does not access the home. He had to change the lock. So I'm not aware. I wasn't even, Raul has never called me. He has told me things when I went there, which we have addressed. One time we went there, we had to pay a lot of money for someone to fix the furnace because he stated himself and his daughter that something happened and he went down there and pulled the wire out. He did that.
Fix it.
He did that himself. Anytime Raul has called for things, I have went there. He's called one day on a Sunday about the refrigerator going out. That same day, he got another one. I think he called about the stove the same day. When we went there to get rent and he said the wire was messed up, all that was fixed that day. So we address things. That's why Raul doesn't have proof that he contacted me. Those letters, I never received those letters. Raul continued to renew his lease. His caseworker that he had, or his sons, inspected the home before he moved in, went over the lease. I had to talk with that caseworker, even after he was staying. Code compliance came to the home, inspected the home. Whatever had to be done, we had to do it or hire someone to do it. They came back out, inspected it, said that the home was livable, gave us the rental certificate for the home. So they had been in the home, which that proves that Raul was telling the story. He did not move there, and then there were issues. I really just want to be done with this. It's just a long ongoing process. I don't understand. I've talked to Raul since the beginning of last year about finding a place. He said he was looking for one. He hasn't found one. And I think him saying that he doesn't want to move in an apartment because his, I think all these are excuses. I think Raul, because when he moved in our home, he ended up telling me he had problems with his last landlord. I think Raul just can't find anyone to rent with him with his history.
Okay. You all want to address, I need you to address pictures from Exhibit I and J, because this, especially Exhibit I, it shows a big hole in the ceiling.
He said that he said
and
that, yeah.
And something going on there. These are pictures that were taken yesterday. I don't know how long.
Yeah, I don't know.
That was the leak in the roof, Your Honor. Plus he had the utilities cut off. And when he had the utilities cut off, that's when everything occurred. There's no heat in the house.
Oh, okay, when were
That's
the
gonna happen.
utilities cut off?
I don't know. He was still staying in the house after September. That's why I said, I used to ride over there. I pick up my children from school and we would sit there and the police would take 3-4 hours to get there. Then Raul had all kind of people coming in and out and they cussing at me and I don't know what they were doing in there. You know what I'm saying? So I'm parking across the street. I'm calling the police and
How do
trying
you
to
know
do.
the utilities were cut off?
That's after he moved out. That was way after October. That was like in late December or something. They were still trying to stay there. And I told him, I said, Raul, you cannot stay there. I even had him on my camera phone where I walked around the house and I told Raul, I said, you're in there illegally, Raul. You're not supposed to stay there. you know this house is red tagged. And then his son just said, get away from the window, get away from the window. And then that's when Raul came back to the back door and I went on, got in the car. I said, well, then I'm not gonna argue with you, Raul. I'm just gonna call the police on you.
And his
You
daughter
better
is-
go out of there because they said that they was gonna get him for trespassing, but they've been out a number of times to tell him and his daughter that they cannot live there. The house is red tagged. He was still staying there.
And
He
his daughter
started
is violent.
he started getting rooms after the house was red tagged for like about a month and a half. You know, but he was still staying there
Well, okay,
because he still had his utilities cut off.
but you don't have any evidence that his utilities are currently cut off?
Well, it's no electric, nothing in the house. I went by there, everything is cut off.
Okay.
You know, I just observed it from
And
outside.
when was it cut off?
I don't know.
I-
But these pictures, let me finish, because she said address these pictures, and he admitted that when he moved out the home, he said, I guess when it was, that it didn't look like this. So I don't know when this happened.
He did testify as to that. Ms. Till, you stood up. I didn't know if you had an objection or something.
Yes, Your Honor, just regarding the utility issue, I was just provided some utility statements from BWL stating that the electricity is still on. It was scheduled for shut off as of 2/25/23. So I can make a motion to enter these utility statements, just showing that there was electricity at least until 2/25. So there was utilities made to the property. There were utilities to the
Can you get a
property.
copy of that for us? Okay, anything else?
And that's when he moved out of there, really. When he got-
Well, we have receipts that's been admitted
Yeah.
from the hotels indicating he
But
was staying in a
on,
hotel.
on certain days, he would stay there like over the weekends. And I would ride past, they got a red truck. It was parked back there. They were staying there.
Okay.
And the police wouldn't even come out no more. They just kept saying, you know, it's a civil suit and this and that. You know, they got tired of us calling.
Agreed.
So-
Were you notified about an electricity issue at the property?
No, I just assumed that it was off.
No, an electricity issue. You
No.
testified about a short or something.
No, it
Okay.
was nothing wrong with that.
Okay, but you do agree that you were notified about bed bugs, but that your testimony is that he would not let you in the property.
Correct, no, he
Okay.
will not. And
Okay, I don't think I ever asked him that. Did you deny them access to the property?
Your Honor, I don't know where are we going with this.
Why didn't you let them in the property?
They're not telling the truth. Everything they go in here, they're not telling the truth.
Yeah, but
We
what,
moved the same day.
why didn't you let them into the property to address the bed bugs?
I never did that.
You never did that?
Yes, they
Okay.
never
Oh,
said.
that's all you need.
That's all I needed. I just need an answer, okay? Okay.
I understand the home I have.
Any
issues.
additional proofs?
No, but I understand the home I have issues. The thing is, I haven't been let in to see the home. Well, I do know when he first moved in, it had to be inspected by the city. They approved everything.
Okay.
But as far as new issues, there was no bed bugs in that home. We had renters before him, that no one ever had issues with bed bugs.
Okay, well, I recognize that, but that doesn't mean that a tenant, just because you had tenants before that didn't have bed bugs, doesn't mean that someone new couldn't. He could have brought the bed bugs in for all we know. We don't know. But if there in fact was bed bugs, if you were notified of issues and he would not, based on your allegation, let you in the property, did you ever file anything with the court seeking an injunction or anything to make,
That's
to
why,
allow you to get access to the property? Did you ever file anything?
that's why when I first went to court, I only put in to get my property back. Because when I started talking to people about this, they said everything had to come out the home. One of the last repair people we sent there to work on the bathroom, after they found out about bed bugs, they said, hey, we can't go back in there. Or they basically said, if we get those or something, we can sue you. He said, you have to address that. They said, for us to get the bed bug exterminator, Raul has to remove everything out of
I
it.
recognize that, but my question is very specific because the allegations is that there has been bed bugs since he first moved into the property, but your testimony originally was that you were at least notified in 2021.
Right.
And so it's 2023. So, and I don't think this eviction was filed in 2021. So I want to know if he was not letting you into the property to address the issue, did you ever seek for the court to give you permission to go into the property to address it? Because I just want to make sure if there was a filing that I get it. Did you
No.
ever file to get access to the
No,
property?
because it was no problem. That's why we.
There was no
didn't
problem
address
to
it.
get access to the
No,
property?
no, it was no problem. He never said nothing to us. He just come give her the rent and, and that's it. And she come back home.
Well,
She give it a
no,
lease.
you both admitted that there was bed bugs and you couldn't get into the property. So
No,
he wouldn't let you in. My question is, when he refused to let you in, did you file anything with the court so that you can get in and fix the issue?
No, because it wasn't an issue.
Well, it is an issue if
I
there's
didn't
bed
know
bugs.
about. it. I didn't
Well,
know
you
about
already
it.
admitted that you knew about it since 2021.
No, we spoke with him. He didn't have a lease. He said that he didn't want to stay there. He was going to move. So it did take a while. This was maybe in the late of 21. Raul was supposed, I even said, hey, Raul, just, let me lower this. I came to him with all these solutions. He just wouldn't do it. I didn't want to do the court process. I've been through it. It takes a long time. You get your house back, but it costs money. That's why I didn't want to pay for a lawyer. It just cost a lot. And then we were going through other issues. So eventually, I just said, hey, let me just go to court. When the next year came, I just said, let me go. I knew it would take time after COVID for him to find a place. So I called myself giving him that time. I really tried to avoid the court.
Okay. Did you want to question this witness at all?
Okay. Okay, so the property was red tagged in September. And did you try to enter the property after that to make any repairs?
Yes.
You did? On which dates? Do you remember?
I don't know the dates. It was after it was red. It was soon after it was red tag, after we had to call the police on him. Our key did.
So.
And also we tried to avoid it because his daughter is violent and tried to attack my husband.
So why didn't you renew the rental certificate?
Because of all the issues I was having with Raul, I couldn't get access to my property. He said he infested my property with bed bugs. It was just a bad experience after them. I expressed to him in enough time to say, hey, I don't want to rent anymore. I talked to him about keeping rent while he was living there. I said, hey, keep your rent and find a place. He said, no, just take me to court. Just take me to court.
All right. Did you know that not renewing the rental certificate would lead to a rent tag?
No.
Okay.
And I spoke with code complaints. They said they will remove that after he moves out.
Now, you said that the police were called several times. Do you have any police report numbers or police reports?
No.
Okay. When was the last time you saw the property in person?
It's over a year, inside over a year. Or it's been more, maybe going on.
So you did just testify that you weren't able to come into the property because after the red tag was issued because the daughter was violent, correct?
Yes, and you're only supposed to be there at certain times when you're fixed.
Okay. And so did you ever try, so you have not gone into the property since the red tag was issued? You've made no attempts to go inside the property?
I did. I stated that my keys doesn't work, so I don't, the lock had to be changed at some point.
Okay. You also testified that the property had to be boarded up because it was insecure. So were you able to go back into the property if it wasn't secured and needed to be boarded up?
I called the police to tell them that him and his children were there and they weren't supposed to. I was not at the property.
When was this?
This had to, it either was at the end of September or the beginning of October. But the nuisance fee, I think the nuisance, it states on that date when they did it. The police called me and say, we checked the property, no one's here, they left, but we found the bottom door unsecured, it's open, we're gonna have someone come board it up.
What day was that?
It's on the nuisance fee to board up.
This is the nuisance fee filing statement, is that what you mean?
Yes.
Okay, this. It says the invoice due date on here at least is from December 2nd, 2022. We need a copy of these exhibits. You get some copies for this. So what day was it actually boarded up?
I can't say the exact day. I want to say at the end of September, or beginning of, maybe in October sometime, beginning of October.
Okay, so he vacated supposedly, or it was red tag in September, and that was when he testified that the police removed him or told him he had to leave. He has receipts showing that he went to a hotel, at least on or about that time. So I'm trying now to understand your testimony that you couldn't get access to the property. Sounds like he left the property unlocked.
When the police, they found that a door, I guess they left out and left one door unlocked. The police went there, and so they boarded that door up.
Oh,
It was, I don't, they just said they.
is the
couldn't
front
lock
door or the?
It was the back door. It's the
Door.
back basement door.
Okay, and so your keys to the other doors you're saying didn't work?
No, they do not work.
Did you change the locks?
No,
No, since then, did you go in and change the locks so you can make the repairs or whatever? you
No.
did?
No,
So you're just leaving the property like it is?
because the first thing we have to do is do the bed, but he has so much stuff in there. It's boxes piled to the ceiling. He has to move that. We can't take his stuff out.
Did you have pictures of this stuff to show the court that you're talking about?
No. But that is coming out the home. It's all in the backyard. That's what they gave issued the things from, proposed the plan. Saying about all the stuff.
You said that's what,
They issued, because he has a lot of stuff.
I'll give me
inside
just a moment. I
his
gave
house.
those exhibits to go be copied since you didn't bring a copy.
that's what you got is just the stuff that he got outside the house. It's not inside the house. We talking about inside the house. You know, he got boxes and stuff piled up everywhere. He just like he collects a lot of stuff.
But I was asking for some photos because you
No, I don't-
gotta show the court what
We
you're
never
talking
actually
about.
got in. We just looked through the window, peeked through the window and see it and saw it.
So
you
this
know,
list
that's-
of trash and debris this is about what was outside the property.
That's just all the stuff he got outside right now that he been had outside. And I've been getting on him and asking him to move them trucks and stuff out the backyard. And he never did it. He never would do it. That's the problem now. Even if you find a place.
So you can continue with your questions. You have a copy of the exhibits now.
I do have a copy of the exhibits. Thank you so much. So I have here an invoice dated December 2nd of 22 for the board up. So would it be accurate to say that the property's been boarded up since December 2nd of 2022?
I think that's just the due date. It was boarded up in October.
So it was boarded up in October. So
Just that door, not the whole home, that door that the
So-
police said was open.
okay.
Just that door.
So just that door was boarded up in October. And so since October, since the home has been boarded up and there's no the police and you test, so I'm trying not to. So the police, when did the police let you know that nobody was living there?
They didn't tell us no one was there. We called the police when he was there after 5.
Okay, so code enforcement told you, but you said that, so was it code enforcement that told you that the building was vacant?
Nobody told us the building. Nobody said that.
Okay, all right, since October, have you tried, since the property was boarded up, have you tried to enter the property?
No.
When I
Okay.
tried to enter the property, my key did not work. But the first step in doing the home, the reason why I haven't done any repairs, if you could call any person to do repairs, they will say, like, I just found out about the ceiling.
I'm not asking about contractors. I'm not asking about anybody else coming in. I'm talking about you yourself. And you yourself and Mr. McNeil.
After the encounter that I had with his daughter, when she threatened me and jumped over the fence and tried to throw stuff at my truck, I said, I'm not going over there no more for my protection. And I be having my children. We got 11-year-old and 12-year-old that we raising,
All
you
right.
know.
Is the daughter still on the property, you're saying?
Huh?
The daughter, I
No,
thought
no,
the
no,
property
no.
was
I'm talking
vacant.
about after they red tagged it, they still was staying in there. You know, and so we'll pull up and call the police and wait till they come. And the police take 2 or 3 hours to get there. And they be still there. And then they explain to Raul and his daughter out there cussing, talking about, he told me I could stay. I didn't even know the girl
There's an
until that
objection
day.
as to hearsay. You can't tell us what someone else said.
But I'm saying, Raul knows. He knows. He knows
Okay.
what he
Yes,
did.
I know.
Okay. Any other questions?
Nothing further for that.
Thank you. Any other evidence or information from you?
Yes, we had, so as to the allegations of the utilities being shut off, I did want to make a motion to enter these Board of Water and Light bills that show that there was utility service to the property. They do say that the property was scheduled for shut off as of 2/25 due to unpaid bills. I don't know if that has been paid yet, but I can at least proffer that utilities were turned on to the property till at least 2/25.
Okay. Did you all get a copy of this bill?
I did.
Okay. Any objection to the admission of this bill to address whether or not the electricity was cut off? Okay. This will be admitted as to, it'll be your exhibit. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, that's all your proofs.
That is all our proofs, Your Honor. Statement.
Okay, well, let me make sure they don't have any rebuttal evidence or anything. Do you have any other evidence that you wanted to admit? Okay, you can proceed to argument. Typically, they would go first, but they could go after you if you want.
If they want to,
Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. All right, Your Honor, thank you for listening to our evidence here today. You've heard evidence and have seen pictures of the conditions of the residence and have heard evidence that the conditions were substandard and continue to remain substandard even after the red tag was put on the door. Purpose of the red tag being put on the door and removal of the residence is to allow repairs to be completed. It is now March 8th of 2023. It's been almost 6 months since the red tag was put on the property. My client has been forced to live in motels, incurring great expense, and further leading to destabilization of an autistic individual, which has, in addition to the monetary expenses that he's incurred, there's also been, emotional and physical suffering that happened. MCL 600-2918 is Michigan's constructive eviction lockout statute, and says that for unlawful interference with the possessory interest, that any person who is ejected out of land or tenements in a forcible or unlawful manner or is otherwise kept out by force is entitled to recover 3 times the amount of their actual damages, or $200. And several courts have interpreted $200 to mean $200 per day that the resident was not able to come back to the property. So, in lawful interference with the possessory interest includes causing by action or intermission the interruption of a service that the landlord is under an existing duty to furnish. In this case, that would be a habitable home, and that has not happened here. So as far as the counterclaim on constructive eviction, my client is entitled to cover 3 times the amount of his actual damages, or $200 per day. So with the, with counting the number of days until today, he would be entitled to almost $44,000 pursuant to the statute. As you can see, the home has been left habitable. Very little has been done to repair these issues. And my client has been forced to stay, who has been evicted from his home without a court order as a result of these repair issues. I mean, furthermore, there's also no rental certificate, and that has not been renewed. Defense rest, thank you.
Thank you.
Your Honor.
Yes, sir.
You can turn.
Yeah, it's your turn now.
Okay. In June, when he stopped paying, and he said he wasn't gonna pay rent anymore, I came down here myself and filed for eviction notice. And they said you got to wait 30, you gotta serve it to him, and then after that, it's 30 days, and then you'll have your day in court. So I did everything I was supposed to do. I did give him eviction notice way before he got the house red tag. That was down the line, you know, because back in June when he stopped paying, I said, well, I'm gonna, you know, we just want our house back, man. You could just go and keep the rent. And then that's when he said, take us to court. And I went and filed upstairs, well, down here. I went and filed, but here I asked all kind of questions. You know, they said just, you got to serve him, had either the court officer serve him a copy of the 30-day notice. And he had gotten, we did that. We paid somebody through the courts to give him the 30-day notice. He got that, and then next thing you know, my wife came to court, and then, you know, that's when, you know, this Corona thing was, and they kept saying, you know, just court days and stuff like that, different court days, and kept getting him months at a time and stuff, you know, but we gave him ample time since June, when the last time he paid us of last year. We said, Raul, you keep your, don't work, I'm putting the rent in escrow or something like that. And I said, well, no, just go put it in escrow, but use that money to find you and your son and daughter a place to stay, because we don't want to rent no more, man. We just want our house back. That's all we want, Raul. But they came to court and act like he can't talk English and all that. And I don't understand this. We never did anything wrong to Raul. He never had a problem with us until his daughter moved in. When his daughter moved in, that's when Raul stopped paying rent in June. That's when I first met her, back in June. You know, I didn't know nothing of her until then. I didn't know he had no other family, because he never really had company when we come around to collect rent. But then I saw he was getting like little attitudes and stuff, because he'd be always outside in the backyard working on something, have all kind of generators and stuff hooked up. He had a big white tank back there, like a water tank or something. And I asked myself, man, what is that? That's for my flowers. The next thing I know, he got big bowls back there, he growing flowers, and then he started putting them in the ground. Right now, that's what the city talking about. Them sunflowers, they growed up and the stems are sticking up, and it looked nasty around there now. I can't even go there to cut the grass. If I go over there to do something, then him and his daughter pop up, and then, you know, I don't want to get in no trouble, Your Honor, messing with nobody. You know, this is our property. I did him a favor. We didn't do no background checks on him or nothing. His person that brought him there explained to me his situation. I said, okay, we give people chances. You know, I gave him a chance. I wanted $850 to move in, and plus, you know, the security deposit. I said, man, he told me about his income. I said, man, I go down to 700. The house is a 1,200 square feet house. When he moved in, I had new carpet that I put in all the way through the house. I had repainted the house, everything. Everything was A1. His worker walked through the house with me. There was nothing wrong with the windows, but I told him, I said, Raul, these are some older windows, but what I want to do, I want to update them. And every time I sent somebody out there, they said, we can't get in your property, Mr. McNeil. I said, well, he's there. Because I just rolled by there and saw his truck back there, you know, but he wouldn't let, he absolutely won't let nobody in, even to pay his rent. He didn't let nobody in. We go to that back door and knock. He comes to the door and stick out an envelope out the door and it say rent on it. And then my wife give him a receipt, said, here you go, Raul, here's your receipt. Thank you and have a great day. And then we leave. But what I'm getting at, Raul, all through the coronavirus, he paid us rent. We never had a problem. Raul was a good tenant. He wasn't a bad tenant, but he just had a lot of stuff around the house. And I was telling him about that clutter and stuff. You already saying you got bed bugs and stuff, but you keep bringing stuff in there, you know, and you got all this stuff outside, man. You know, I can't come over there legally just clean up the house. I can't even come over there and cut the grass. I even gave him a lawnmower when he first moved there that he still got in his possession to cut the grass. I said, Raul, then I came over there a couple of times in the winter time, and me and my son, he was 11 then. Me and my little boy would come over there and do the snow all the way around his house because they got a bus stop right there. You know, I called myself trying to help Raul, him and his son. They gave me no problems all while they stayed there. The problems occurred when his daughter started coming around. She had some black guy standing on them stairs, and I didn't even know his daughter was there. She just ran out. I said, who is that? He said, oh, that's my daughter. And then he walked out to the car like he was something wrong with him, and she was hollering and going on with some guy that was in the basement. I didn't know there was nobody there because they kept it quiet. So next thing I know, I go out and talk to Raul, and Raul said, man, this is her boyfriend. I don't want him here. They fight all the time. And I said, what? I said, she's staying here with you now? Well, just for a little while. You know, I'm trying to help her out. Okay, Raul, man, she's not on the lease, man. I said, man, but I'll try to help you out with your problem with the brother that was in there. He was a young black guy, like 18 to 22 years old. That's the only time I went in that house. I went in that basement and I told him, I said, hey, man, I said, I'm the landlord. I said, only one supposed to be here is Raul and his son. I don't know anything. I just met his daughter. I don't know anything about that, but I'm addressing you now. You have to leave, man. I said, I'm gonna give you till 5 o'clock and I'm gonna come back. And I said, I want you out of here, man. No excuses. I'm not giving you no days or nothing. You're not supposed to be here. My tenant said he don't want you here. So a man said, oh, I understand that, old school. I understand that. So next thing I know, I come back over there at 5 o'clock and the guy's gone. So that was no issue. And then I talked about his daughter. Man, what's going on? Well, she's not really living here. You know, I just let her spend a night here and there. And I said, man, she's not supposed to be here. She's not on the lease, Raul. And then after that, he started complaining about everything to my wife, though. But she was going over there by herself. And he just started complaining to her about everything after his daughter moved there. That's when the problems occurred. As far as him and his son, they was good tenants. I'm not trying to slur the man's name or nothing. He was a good tenant. You know what I'm saying? Only thing it was, he just had a little clutter. You know, that's all it was. But then when we went through that problem, we said, we don't want to rent no more, Raul. Here, you just keep your rent, man. We're not trying to take nothing from you. We're trying to help you. And he said, no, just take me to court. And his daughter came out, yeah, take me to court. I said, you don't need, who are you? You don't know you're supposed to be here. You know, so that's what we've been going through, Your Honor. We just want to get our property back. You know what I'm saying? I got the ripped up brand new carpet that I put in there back then out. I gotta get a big dumpster because I know even when he move his stuff, he gonna leave a lot of stuff there because he got so much stuff. If he's staying in a motel, he don't have nowhere to put the stuff. That's the whole issue right now. He can't find a place and he don't have nowhere to put his property. So he's holding our property up and he's not even staying there. It's red tag. What you want to argue for now? It's red tag. You can't stay there. Just get your stuff and leave, please. That's it. We ain't trying to get no money from you.
You're talking to me, not to
Yeah,
him.
I'm saying we're not trying to get no money from him though. I can see if I'm saying I want rent from June to September. By right, I can do that because he was still staying there. He didn't pay rent from June to September. He got red tagged in September. So what happened to all those months of rent that you been putting in escrow, whatever you put it at? What happened to all that money? Why didn't you had to use that to pay for where you stayed? But by him being on a fixed budget, we not even right now. He's been in there 8-9 months. Ain't paying us nothing. We still ain't trying to get nothing.
But the property was red tagged in September, so.
It was in September though, but he still didn't pay since June, as far as we
From
concerned.
June to September.
Yes, June to September.
June to September, he didn't pay no rent.
Oh.
So we didn't even press him trying to get no rent though. And from there, I still got to pay my taxes on the house. I just put out almost $3,000, and I ain't got no rent. It's no income coming in that house. I'm not working. He know I just came off a shoulder surgery. I got a whole new shoulder repair. He know I was messed up. You understand? And that's why I started paying people to come out to do stuff for him. The last people I paid he was complaining about the bathroom floor. Okay, I said, okay, they'll come do it. I sent my people out there, paid them.
What's the complaint about the floor?
He said it was leaking. What it was, he needed around the tub caulked. When he get in the tub, because I did put a shower in there, because
It was leaking, or
how the house is built. It's like the tub is right here, and the wall go up about to his shoulder, and then it goes like this. And I told him, I said, Raul, there's no way I could put a shower in like that. So what I did, I put a faucet in with the shower thing on there and put his shower thing where he can hold it. It holds on the wall. So when he take the shower, he just got to pull up the little thing and take his shower. You know, that's the best I could do there.
Is the bathroom directly above the kitchen?
Huh?
Is the bathroom directly above the kitchen?
Yes. So that's from them getting water on the floor when they get out the tub. It was leaking through the ceiling. You know what I'm saying?
You're saying from them getting water
on the floor from getting out the tub.
That's what got the floor.
That's why we was getting the floor repaired, but the guys didn't finish that because they found out it was bed bugs, and they said they're not going back in the property. So what I was supposed to do?
Okay.
So I just to wrap this up, in 2021, I started talking to Raul, saying, hey, we started talking to make preparations. We didn't want to run anymore. When he about the bed bugs, when I started inquiring, I don't know much about bed bugs. They said, hey, everything needs to be removed. The items in the house need to be treated. Fast forward, Raul said, well, I want to move. I'm going to look. He said that. So we get to maybe a few months later, we get 2022. I'm talking to Raul. Keep your rent, Raul. Let me take your rent down. Let me do something so that you can find a place. Raul didn't want to take. No, I'm not. I'm going to pay you the same thing. Raul said that he did not want. He kept the rent the same. And then eventually he said, I'm going to keep my rent and put it in escrow. I said, just find a place, And I told him, and we just talked, and I said, Raul, the problem is the first thing I have to do is address the bed bugs. And they said everything has to be removed out that home. And then his items have to be put in the storage and treated to come back. They said by him how bad he said it was, that they will have to treat inside the window sills. It's so much stuff. That's why now, as it being red tag, not only I would have paid to change the locks, but I didn't bother because, well, once the court kept getting postponed, I thought it would have been resolved earlier, but they said I can't remove all his items. They would have wanted, I can't do it, but that's the first thing I will have to do. I haven't been in the home. I don't know the conditions. The last time anytime I go in, if he says something's wrong when I go there, I fix that thing, So I've addressed, that's why it's no text message and phone calls. Raul saying this is just like he said when he left the home, he said when he got red tag, the ceiling wasn't like that, but now the ceiling's like that. We don't know how that happened, but I haven't been in there. But the thing is, even after this, we're left with that. We're left happy because he doesn't have the income, and they're talking about it could be upwards of $6,000 for the bed bugs. But we do know we have to rip carpet and all that out of there, and then he has until the 14th, which is next week, I believe, to remove all those items outside, or we're going to get more fees. We keep incurring fees from Raul things. And I can't do, I want my home, I want to fix. The thing is, why wouldn't I want to fix it? It's becoming very costly for me. It's becoming very costly for me. You know, that's why I don't understand, you know, and it I don't know. I just really wanted to avoid court, and now I feel like I should have just been went, but I tried to avoid court, you know, just because I know I couldn't get anything out of him because of his thing. What was the point of going to court? I thought that, okay, you want to move, find a place. You know, you want to move somewhere. I thought he would move, but Raul didn't. I feel like he didn't want to move. Then when I filed the things with court, you know, he just was like, well, hey, he asked for jury trial, so he did that just to postpone, and then he still hasn't found a place. I don't feel he's doing his due diligence to find a place, because he was supposed to start in 2021 to find a place. I've let him know in 20, I did not want to rent anymore. I let him know that. I've talked with code compliance. I don't want to rent any longer. That's one fee they said they would take off of me. They said when he move out and they could come see all that stuff that's gone out the home and it's empty, they will take those fees away. But those other fees, I'm going to be responsible for that.
When you decided you didn't want to rent anymore, why didn't you file a termination of tenancy, lost eviction?
First we put in.
I'm asking her the question.
When I told him I didn't want to, I thought he could. I felt give him notice so he could start looking for a place. I didn't know it would get to this. I honestly didn't. What
you said that he told you to take him to court
in 2022, right before I went to.
But you also said that there's been since 2021. You knew there was bed bugs. He wouldn't let you in the property. You decided you didn't want to rent anymore. My question is, why didn't you do something to secure your property until 20? Why did you wait?
He said he was looking for a place. Because when you go file in court, you have to pay. So I'm thinking, hey, give him some time. He's going to find a place. That's honestly, I honestly thought Raul was actively looking for a place. That's why I didn't. That's honestly why I didn't.
Okay. All right, I've heard enough. We're gonna go off the record on this file. I need to figure out what's going on with your other file.
I believe they are still out in the hallway. Do you want me to bring them in and we can put preliminary matters on the record, or do you want to go to lunch first?
So that they're going to, you're proceeding in a trial on that one, correct? So they may as well go to lunch. I need to review this evidence, and then I will make my ruling, and then we'll start that trial, okay?
Excuse me,
Yes.
so I have to go out and put some more money in the,
We're recessing for lunch at this point.
so what time we got to be back here?
You need to be back here by 1 o'clock.
1 o'clock? Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
No problem.